Seatbelts on, helmets. 10 seconds.
Welcome. I'm Chris McKean.
And I'm Andy Kiner.
We're all about cross-country racing, and usually it starts with 10 seconds.
But not all the time. In Iowa, we start with hands-on helmets most of the time.
Oh,
Cainsville might be a little different, so.
yeah. Something special.
Special.
Well, welcome.
Man, I'm sorry about your troubles, man.
Don't. We're a little late. Yeah, we both had some IT issues here we're trying to work through.
I thought you said it was a battery
Yeah.
issue.
What?
I thought you said it was a dead battery.
A dead battery? What are you talking about?
You said something about the Prius not starting at work.
Maybe.
Dead battery? Or...
I was wondering where you're going with that because we did have a dead battery issue, but it was on the Corvette, not the Prius.
Oh.
But yeah, no.
That was bad. Having technical issues there. Sorry we're late, but it is what it is.
Yes.
So a lot going on, man. A lot going on.
I know. We took a week off and we're both rusty. Got to get back into this.
Yeah. My head's spinning. We got so much stuff going on right now.
We do.
Race coming up, and it's everything afterwards, it seems like, is taking our attention.
I think it's just the, like I put in the descriptions, kind of getting to the thick of things here. Got a lot of things going on, and probably the two biggest races of the year back to back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and we still got Kahoka in 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks from this weekend.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm going to try to get, I don't have a lot of updates right now on that one, but I'm going to try to get Thad Trump on here for one of these coming up and get some updates on it and stuff. I know Thad's been really helping us, the crew down there. He's got some guys, I think, helping him, and they've been out really helping a lot on that track. We can't thank them enough. So sounds like there might be some parts of that track that might be changing. I'm kind of speaking out of turn, but we just briefly spoke back in the timber up on the hill. Might be changing a little bit, but we'll get clarification and everything. But not sure exactly where we're going to start yet, if it's going to be across the road. We started last year back in that, it's not 40 acres, but I call it back 40,
Yeah. It's
But,
kind of back behind where everybody parked in for the pits.
Yep.
Kind of have it walking back in there. Yep.
So we're not sure what's going to go on like there. We're concerned a little bit about maybe using that for more parking, as kind of part of the talk. It's a perfect place to park. It's level, it's kind of quiet from all the rest of the loud generators, and stuff. So, yeah, so we'll see what's going on. We'll definitely get some updates on that for sure. Bold Off-Road's back on. We might even try to get them back on. We got them on last year. I'm hoping he can make it this year and be at the race. But yeah, so I think we have them down for not next week, but the following week. So I might try to get Thad on next week to give us an update on the track itself. So yeah. One thing about that though, Chris, I think I mentioned to you the other day. Well, we talked about it last week on here. Is the county fair race is that Thursday. So the guys and all the guys were talking this weekend. We're down at Cainsville and maybe try to bust some butt. And thanks to Thad doing so much down there, might be able to make it in to support our local or our riders that are going to race in that county fair race in there in Kahoka. So it should be fun. So I told him I wasn't sure if you'd be there or not on Thursday night, but
oh man, you're funny. Oh. So yeah, Cainsville is next after Kahoka. I mean, I know you and the track crew guys were all down there scoping things out and planning things. Any updates you
can? Yeah. So first and foremost, got to thank all the guys for going down on. So we went down Friday night and didn't come back until a little afternoon on Sunday. So we got a lot done. A big portion of it, when you have over 800 acres, it's just trying to navigate and find your way and, and find stuff. And that's what we're doing a lot. But we got a lot done. We got a lot of it. When I say a lot of it laid out, there's a good portion that we got. I'm going to say maybe a third, maybe 25%, I would say probably got laid out. But we've done a lot of investigating, got some other stuff in our heads. We know what's going on. So the next trip will go a lot quicker. I think I'm going to be down there this Sunday, and then we'll be back down next week to do a lot of work. Not over the 4th, but the Saturday, Sunday following. So not sure who all's going to be there, but yeah, it's coming up pretty quick. So we got to get that many acres. We got a lot to go through. So, and obviously we'd be lost if it wasn't for Adam Ratliff, down there helping us some. And I say some, he's probably done more than anybody down there right now. So we thank him for his guidance and, and everybody that's helping. And it's going to be good, man. I had a picture I really wanted to get to you and I didn't. So we'll try to get it next week on here. But there was one point, Chris, where we were clear, I would say almost to the far east side, if I have my directions right. No, it'd be the far south side. And you could just see the water tower and the silos and stuff where we were parked way off, and it's just amazing. It's absolutely beautiful. Just you can see for miles and miles of just all this timber. It's like it's a dream for a hare scramble. So the track's going to have a little bit of everything in it. It's really, really nice. It's it's just got everything. I think there might be some rocks somewhere I think we've seen, but I'm not sure if we're going to get, we will be down in the sand too. It's got hills that, when you talk to landowners, you're like, big hills. Oh, we love those. Well, some of these we can't even use. I mean, when they say a ditch is going through, you can get the Statue of Liberty down in some of these. It's that big. So it's really cool. There is definitely going to be some good hills and stuff. It's just going to have everything. The falls area, we're not sure what we're naming. I think it's just going to be the falls. We'll have people going down there and stuff. And it'll just be a lot of fun, Chris. Parking isn't perfect. There is some that's perfectly flat. It is on an incline, but it's not going to hurt anybody. If you do want it to be, perfectly level, maybe throw a couple blocks in, but it's not bad at all. Kind of changed that up this weekend, Chris. We thought we knew where pit lane was going. We kind of moved it, trying to get some of the open stuff, kind of limit that a little bit, but it's man, it's I come home smiling every time from that place. It's going to be really neat. So, of course, we just got the flyer out yesterday.
I was just going to comment that the flyer's out there, posted on the Facebook page.
Thanks to Sabrina. It took a little longer. Thanks, I guess you were the one that I contacted, like, what's going on? And the email didn't go through, I guess. And so, unfortunately, that was a couple weeks of hitch, I guess, for me. So, but it's out now. I think the state fair one's getting ready. It might still be out tonight. I think it's tonight or tomorrow. I can't remember. It's supposed to be out all updated. So, yeah.
So,
but yeah, Cainsville's looking really good. I mean, it's going to be fun. Just a lot of work to do on this track, but obviously a virgin track and everything. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. So.
Yep. So just a couple things. We have a couple deadlines coming up. So we're talking about Cainsville, and then we can circle back to some of the questions there in the chat. That July 1st is the deadline that we must register through the website to receive a limited edition Pendland shirt. This will be different than those for sale at the race. These are just something a little extra for those that register by July 1st. Everybody else that wants to race the Pendland must register by July 25th at 5 p.m.
Yep. And do you want to tell us? I've had some people ask about, are you going to be solid on the registration? What are we doing? Since that affects all of us, but you're in the heat of why we have to do that. So I think we explained it before, but you want to explain again why that has to happen?
Yep. Well, because the starting line, kind of like what happened this past weekend at Snowshoe, it's based off points and registration. So I need to have some time, like the Iowa State Fair, to get everything in line to make sure everybody's on the appropriate starting row. And if we're talking roughly 60 rows that we're anticipating, we need all the time we can get to get everything that we have to do in order, and then also, get those lineups published so everybody knows before, hopefully, on Saturday, which row they're starting on.
And I mentioned a couple people, and I told them, don't hold me to it, but that ends on Saturday. I know we can be started on it, already, when we start getting stuff in. But I think you mentioned it, already in what you just said too. But in order to get this out to everybody, because we need to make it as easy as possible. Okay, getting from there downtown.
Yes.
And I've already had some guys ask about. I guess there's some questions when the flyer came out, which I completely understand. It is August 1st. It could be hot, how long are we going to be out, once we get downtown and stuff, because it can, I understand it can be a game changer when it's super hot like that and you're standing around outside. So I think we need to bring that up right now, because it's time to start thinking about that. I don't have that golden answer, but in order for getting some feedback.
Justice. Should be good.
I get my self-talk. Is that good?
Yep, I think we're good.
So the biggest issue is we've never done this before, so we're trying something different. I sure hope it works. I'm pretty positive it'll work, but it's all different. And right now we have a hard time, just when we're trying to do a riders meeting at the track, 15 minutes before the race start, we can't get everybody lined up in time. Everybody wants to wait till, not everybody, but from front row to back row, it seems like there's always a couple dozen people that, want to come in while we're still talking and stuff. And, or when we first start talking, we just can't have that down there. We've got to have people. It's a tight area where we're getting into. It's basically a large alley that we're going to be going into around the corner to get lined up. So there's not going to be a lot of room to cut in between. So we need to get everybody lined up. So having said that, it's going to take a little bit extra time. Hopefully maybe next year it only takes 10 minutes. People know where they got to go, but without knowing, it's going to make it tough, Chris, for sure. So we did move the riders meeting out to the track. So maybe they don't have to be in their gear and stuff. They can just kind of chill. The riders meeting shouldn't take that long. It's just basically, and my hopes is once we get closer to that, Chris, and our last podcast, maybe we can ask everybody to tune in and maybe do some of that riders meeting on here. But it's truly just all about knowing where to go. I would really like to honestly get them lined up at the track and just parade down there in line. I know that may sound a little different, but that'll be so much easier, and we can just pull right up and then stop, and it might be something a brother, a mom, or dad, or a friend, takes your machine down and gets lined up for you downtown, ready to go in line and stuff to save you some time. But it's just something that we've all got to work on. I don't have that magic answer for it, it's just going to take time, especially that first time, if we were snowshoeing, not to hate to bring that up, but Snowshoe's done it for many, many years, starting like this. So they got a lot of experience. We're brand new. We're as green as it comes here. So I think it's going to be a great experience for everybody involved. It's just going to take a little bit extra time. And unfortunately, it means right before the race. So we'll have everything laid out on Friday down there, where I think people could actually go down Friday if they're there. Saturday morning, it'll all be laid out so you can go down and look. Chris, I know what you and I and Trace has talked about is once we do get it done, we'll get those all typed up or written up, however we're doing that. And then we'll print a bunch of them off, and we'll make sure they're available at the registration. We'll get it put out there online immediately. And it might say, row 27, spot 3, for Chris McKean, and that would be your starting spot. So we'll have the lines all marked out there, and you just go to row 27, you get in the third spot. And how do you get in the third spot, Chris? It means if you're in the third spot when it comes to your row, that would be, you got 1, 2 on each side and 4 and 5 on the other, you're directly in the middle, if you're the first row and it's in the third spot, then that means that you're third in points. If you are the 6th spot in yours, you'll be second row on the first position, which is the far inside. So remember, it's all by points starting out. If you're not in points, then you would be given, it determines on when you signed up. Whoever signs up first gets the next position type thing. It's the easiest, simplest way we can do it. So, but once we get all those in, that final cutoff there on the 25th, then we'll get everything put out. We'll get it put out online so everybody can see it. We'll have them physically there. So when you go down, you can, exactly where you're going. So, but unfortunately it is going to take a little time. So, and there's places to, you can drive a 4-wheeler, no youth. Keep in mind, okay, it's very, very strict there. No youth on the roads at all. It's only adults. We're just going downtown for the start and then going back. It's the only time we ever need to be out there. But there's plenty of room downtown. I use that word like loosely for downtown, but there's plenty of spots, or side-by-sides or ATVs can park. Vehicles can drive down there. If you want to take a van or a truck, and have the air on and be sitting in there, you're more than welcome to, obviously, but it's just kind of figuring up a game plan to be able to do it. It's just different. Here's the thing is everybody's in the same boat because nobody's done it. Maybe you've been to Snowshoe or Blackwater where they've done it, but it might be a little different here. It might be better. It might be worse. Like I said, first time. So we're going to have fun. We're going to do the best we can. That's all we can say.
Yep. And while you're talking there, I went ahead. I know that you and I just talked the other day, and I said there's only 88 entries so far for Cainsville. I just looked, and there's a total of 146. So
nice.
so the flyer posted, and people have signed up. I've got 80 adults and 66 kids. So we're on our way.
And man, I'll tell you what, I'm hoping every one of our people, I'm hoping anybody that's coming can get signed up before that July 1st. And let's be honest, Chris, obviously we want them there as quick as we can. If we get, every one of our double A's, it's just anybody that comes in from outside that would still be signing up, and we can be getting that done as quick as possible, even though the cutoff's not till the 25th. But also, I mean, there's no extra cost. There's nothing to get signed up early or later. It doesn't make any difference. It's just get a free cool t-shirt, that nobody in the country will have except for the ones that signed up early enough to help out. So yeah, that should be fun. I'm glad to see those numbers going up pretty quickly. So I've had just a ton of people that have called and text me messages and stuff, and I've tried to get all of them questions back to them as quick as I could. I did hear there were some messages out there online, maybe, or something. I forget what it was now, but I haven't looked online at all, so I'm not sure what's that. But I have been trying to get everybody called back or text back just as soon as I could on the private messages that people are asking questions. So,
Gotcha. Oh, so a couple of questions I see in the comments. St. John Briggs is asking if maybe we're going to have a 4-lap race there at Cainsville.
4-lap. I would say
hour, 10, 12 miles.
I would have a hard first. I would, after seeing it last weekend, I would have a hard time believing it would be more than 4. I would be absolutely shocked. I'm not putting it. I think we just really don't know till we get done. There's some quick parts, there's some slower parts, but I'm going to say 3 or 4 lap race is what I am guessing on this. But unfortunately, only being about 25% through the track yet, I'm going to say that, that's my guess right now is 3 to 4. I'd be shocked if we got 5. So, but yeah, I would say if everything works out right, I think it'll be closer to, I think it'll only be a 3-lap race is what I really believe. But if we have some changes and have some stuff that open up a little bit, maybe some could slide through on for a 4th lap, but I think a majority of them will be on a 3-lap race.
Gotcha. All right. Then Trent Roberts asked, you're putting together, new track such as this property. Do you do a typology kind of map and try to hit the cool features, or just grab the landowner and you and the track guys go out there and wander around and see what you can find?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Yep, that's a good question. We kind of do all the above. So we're pretty big fans of our Onyx. Literally why we just got on here, Joe Moeller does a lot of the Onyx mapping for us, just sent me all the maps from this weekend that we went through. But Onyx is what we typically use for that. We're really trying. I'm going to throw this out there right now. If anybody can help me find out like what GNCC and maybe some of these other bigger series use on their track mapping to get that out there to people they can see. I've been trying to find this out now, it seems like, for about the last year, and I cannot figure it out. But we would love to adapt to get over to that so we can put that out there. Onyx is kind of, it's a situation where you have to have it, at least as far as we know. I can't send it to you, Chris, unless you have it. I haven't found a way to print it off or anything to put out there online. So it's a great building tool for us. but it's not very good for sharing to the public. But yes, we go out there. For example, there's a lot of fencing that was put in here, Chris, and there's a ton of gates, and it's working really, really good for us. At first, I thought, oh no, this ain't gonna be good. But there's so many gates we will be going through, and what it does is, the people that like to get off course, they're going to have a real tough time here because they're cut up in sections. So when you get through a section, it's like you got to get through this gate over here. So we're probably going to go through, I'm going to guess 7-8 gates on the property. And, you can't get out. There's no way to cut unless you go through that gate. So it's a point A to point B in all these sections. And I really like it. It's keeping things in priority, or keeping things in check. And it's going to be really good, I think. But having said that, for example, on Onyx, I know Joe and we're working on it is going through and marking where all the gates are, gate 1, gate 2 to put down. We're going to have a big map. I'm hoping to have it done, but we can't have the map printed until we get all the gates in line. And obviously we got to have the track. So will it be this year when we get it? I don't know. It's too expensive to get it done before we get all the gates on there. So, but it's a great question. But basically, first thing we ever do is get with the landowner or the steward of the land, and they show us around. We kind of know where we can go and then where the fence lines are. And then from there, we just grab our Onyx and we start looking, just searching for stuff like he mentioned, different highlights in the property. That's something we talked to landowner about. Adam Ratliff's helped us a lot down here, just showing us highlighted stuff that we know we've got to hit that area and stuff. And there's only certain crossings in different places. So that's stuff that we'll put on our Onyx and make it easier for us laying the track out. Not only this year, but it really helps the second year, knowing where you were for sure. So, but yeah, good question though.
Gotcha. Jeremy Turner posted out here just indicating that he lives 25 minutes from Kahoka. So if there's any help that's needed, let him know.
Perfect. I appreciate
previously,
that.
Grell's helped out, and I know Dylan Howard lives close down there too. So you got some help.
Those people don't get enough credit that volunteer. Now we always get some that say they'll be there, and then when it comes time, everybody's busy and plans change. But the people that even reach out to, see if we need help or show up to help, locals, we can't thank them enough. Like you think about all the guys and gals that are going down there, especially the guys that are going down there to work. It's multiple trips we've always made in Kahoka, and it's basically 3 hours down there, so it's a lot of driving for it. That's why what Thad's doing and the whole group down there, we can't thank them enough. They've saved us a ton by working on that thing. So, yeah.
Oh.
Any other questions?
Jeremy wants to say hi to me. Hi, Jeremy. I saw your message. I will reply as soon as I can. I didn't get home until really late today. So I'll do a few things before we jumped on the podcast, but I will reach out to you regarding your question.
And like I said earlier, Chris, on what you just said, I think we're both working long hours. A lot of people are, but we got so much stuff going on between. It sounds funny when you're not focused on the next race, but there's so much stuff going on to make sure that the new race goes in, and then State Fair always kicks in at this time. So if there's questions that don't get answered, please feel free to give me a call. I can talk easier than I can text during the day. I try not to get on some of that stuff during the day, but feel free to give me a call at any time or shoot me a text to remind me to get back to you if you don't hear from me. I think most people will tell you that I get back to them. A lot of them are shocked. I send me a message and I call them right back immediately, so no matter what time it is. But I try to answer them as quick as we can. But for some reason you don't hear from me for a day or something, shoot me a text, remind me. stuff online. I really don't get on that stuff too much, Chris. So, yeah, just shoot me a text or, more importantly, just give me a call. So,
yeah, I'm not, very busy lately. So Facebook is once in a great while. I can't keep track of everybody on how they did this past weekend. And we try to, but just busy time right now.
It's a lot easier. I think it's easier and it's fun for us. Like when everybody kicks off before us, you got something to focus on,
Yeah.
But once everything gets kicked in, it's like, someone just told me Walker Fowler hasn't raced now for like 3 weeks or 3 races, or 4 or something like that. It's like, oh my gosh,
Yeah, no.
But usually I got somebody telling me, the boys or somebody's telling me how, double A win, or some of our guys that, they're watching. But for the most part, it's like every once in a while I get to check the results. But like this weekend, some of our guys was bringing it up down there to see how guys were doing. And yeah, good luck to anybody that goes and travels that far to race, man. That's cool. So,
Wow. So we kind of talked about state fair. The other kind of hot topic I have on my list, it's fast approaching. What do we say? We're only allowing 16 per class to get or to join. I know the flyer circulating. I think we have one correction to that flyer, right? That's being worked on still.
Yeah, I'm not so sure it's not out. It might have came out tonight. I thought Sabrina said maybe today sometime. Maybe I even missed it. I haven't had any question, but there was one that came out yesterday. I can't remember if we shared it or if we sent it to Toby and Toby had shared it. But yes, I made a mistake on that. It wasn't Sabrina's fault. It was a situation where I told her all the classes are exactly the same as last year. And then I forgot for the pit bikes. If you remember right, we had a lot of them sign up, and the very last second, I think it was like Thursday before the race. Remember, we split them up. I called everybody and asked them what size tire, if they had a big or small tire, and we formed 2 classes out of them, a big and small tire. And I failed to remember that. And we had to make a correction on the flyer. So there is an updated one. If you've seen the second one and you're interested in the pit bikes, the second one does have the 2 different classes on there. And if I remember right, Chris, the changes, the small tire is going to be in heat or the race number 7. And I think the large tire was, it stayed the same. And it was, I think 13, wasn't it? Or no, it'd be 14 now since we inputted the other one. So I think it'd be 7 and 14. So.
Yep. The only other issue that we have that's kind of abnormal, we for the stock 90.
Oh yeah.
We are just having the 2 stock 90 classes posted. So I will get the website updated for that. Thanks, Zach, in advance.
Yeah. So remind me, I got one more thing about Cainsville. Now I forgot what it was. But
I think we need to kind of give everybody the teaser of, we got a big podcast planned for next week, right? Still planned?
Yes. I heard that the Golden Goose is landing tomorrow, Chris.
Okay.
So that will be the big thing for us that I'm super excited about. I am hoping, I haven't contacted him because I just found out about that about 2 hours ago. So I'm hoping to get everything lined up and be focused on Cainsville with some fun stuff that we're going to announce. Just some stuff on that flyer, some stuff that's not. We got some kids stuff. It's just going to be a lot of fun, but we're hoping to have, I think we're shooting at 4 special guests on next Tuesday. Maybe I haven't told you yet that, but yeah. So a lot of information to drop next Tuesday on Cainsville primarily. That will definitely take up the hour, I'm sure. I'm very excited about just to get stuff out there. But yeah, I know we're jumping around. I don't mean to, but Cainsville, there was one other thing. I hate it when I do this, but there was one other thing I meant to tell you. Oh, I know it's not the same one, but we do have that falls section. Okay. And that section is a thing where people are going to be able to go down. That's a picture I had for you with all of our crew bikes up there. It's a really, really cool. You're going to want to be there to watch the race. I mean, it's really cool. Okay.
Okay.
But we're going to have a mowed path all the way down to it. It's about a quarter mile is what it is. A little over a quarter mile. But anyway, we're going to allow ATVs side by sides to drive this path down and park there. But we're also going to be thankful. I think it's anywhere from 2 to 6 machines that'll be giving rides from downtown to the pits. And then during the adult race, they'll be giving rides from the pits down to the falls and back. So people aren't having to walk. But I can't say this enough times, Chris. You know how important it is right now with everything going on. Absolutely, positively, no youth riding. Okay. No youth can be on. Even if mom and dad's got a golf cart, that doesn't mean little Sally can be riding it, or little Joey not riding it, driving it. If you've got a 2-passenger ATV, little Johnny can be behind, but he can't be driving it. So it's very, very important. Nobody needs to be on youth machines out there. No youth riders. This can get taken away just as quick as we can add it. But this is a special place. It's got a special place that we want everybody to see it and be comfortable getting there. Same with downtown. Absolutely no youth riders whatsoever driving downtown. The only exception to that is if you're in the junior class. The junior class, you can take your machine down there, but there's no reason for any for wheeling. I'll stop you and turn you around myself if I see all that kind of stuff. We don't need any of that. We don't need any accidents. The town is working with us very well. We're going to keep it in check. It's going to be like a parade. It's not even a mile, Chris. It's like 3/4 of a mile exactly to get from where we enter the pits to where we enter, where we're stationed, or, getting everybody lined up. So
is the road paved?
It's a highway.
Okay.
Yep. It's a highway. They will be closing the highway for us for our starts and stuff. We have 2 other roads that will be closed for our starts till we get done. The starts are going to be so critical, as you know better than anybody, Chris. We're starting them every 20 seconds. It's about 2.5 miles, we believe. We got to get an accurate reading on it to get from downtown to the track. But it's just so critical. So there just won't be any room for somebody not starting, or somebody, you're not winning it in that corner. So please, basically, if you have an issue, you're getting shoved off to the side and the next one's coming right behind you. So if you start to kill it or you have an issue, get it off the track immediately. Do not ruin the whole thing by holding everybody else up. So, but it should go good. We got people going to be in place to help get stuff off the track, uptown, if we have an issue or something. But it should be a lot of fun. I don't know. There was one other thing I was going to tell you about on that. We do have a place for cars. Oh, I know where I was going to tell you. We're having a long lane when you pull in to get the trailers and everything off the highway. Mm-hmm. So it's safely getting in there and getting registered. When you get registered, we will have more people at the gate registering you, because they will be putting the wristbands on you. It's not something that they're going to be handed. The wristbands will be put on you, and you must have a wristband when you come back through the gate when you go downtown. So we just can't take a chance on, people that haven't been through the gate walking in without signing waivers. So it's going to be very important the way we're doing downtown to make sure everybody's got a wristband on when they're inside. So, and then keep in mind when you come, there's a lot of parking we do have a lot of overflow parking, but that overflow parking will be kind of landlocked, if that makes sense. So you will not be able to get out, nobody, unless it's an absolute emergency during the race itself. You'll have to cross over the track. So we will shut that down during the adult. If you're, and that all depends on how we end up doing it too. So, but there's a good chance that there might be some that's landlocked. So when you come in, just need to ask us and see where you're parking. If you need out early or right after, make sure that you can get in and out without crossing the track. So that's all I have. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump back to Cainsville, but some of that stuff's pretty important. But let's get back to State Fair. Sorry, we got sidetracked there. You do that pretty easy, it seems like.
We do that. Squirrel. Yep. No.
So my wife always says squirrel.
Squirrel.
But State Fair. So just going through a little bit of it, Chris. We've had a lot of questions on this, and I appreciate everybody bringing it to our attention. We have a huge challenge on our hands for the State Fair this year. I appreciate, like I said, everybody reaching out and said, do you realize that there's a rodeo on Thursday and Friday, the day before our event? Answer is yes. The fair did let us know. The fair was kind of not pushing us, but asking us if we'd like to do it on Sunday so we could have time to build the track. I chose not to because I don't think Sunday works good for everybody, especially like at the State Fair. I might be wrong, but I chose to keep it on Saturday. But the only way we can make this work, Chris, is we won't get even on in the facility until approximately 3 p.m. on Friday. So let that sink in on everything that we have to get done in order to be ready to open the gates at 7 o'clock, the next morning. So
yep. Normally by 3 p.m. Friday, we're just kind of finish packing down, watering the track. So yeah, an all-nighter for us.
All-nighter. Yep. And they've said that, that they work really good with us. We got to thank the State Fair for the opportunity, and then this is the way they work with us, but they are allowing us. We typically try to shut down, especially when it gets dark, with all the stuff going on down there. But we're going to be just getting started basically when it gets dark this time. By the time you figure just moving dirt around and getting the walls put up, the tires put out there, everything, we already have the track designed for the most part. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of work to do. And as you know, once you get done with it, then we're watering it a couple times, let it dry, water. At night, it's not going to dry. That's going to soak up, which is good. But we'll start rolling it like we always do. It's just going to be very interesting. So we've been fortunate the last couple of years with the tractor pulls, the antiques the day before or 2 days. I guess it's 2 days before. And last year they didn't have the sled off the track, and we were already out there laying cones for the way it was laid out so we could get started. So that's 24 hours less than what we're going to have this year. So, it's going to be crazy to think it, but I promise you the track will be ready and we will be racing on time on Saturday. And a lot of people have called. We've got some new people that's called that seen that flyer from, I think it's Toby. Maybe we shared it too. I can't remember now, but is asking how it goes. And if you've never been there, it runs like clockwork usually. The only time that, I'm always on you, Chris, to tell me, yep, we can go, and girls, because we got to do it the old fashioned way. People ask about how many times have you heard, well, why don't you have transponders? We had 268 riders last year. I don't have 268 transponders sitting around, because they take a completely different transponder than what we use for the series, so we just don't have that stuff. So we got to do it the old fashioned way. The girls are kicking butt up there in the crow's nest, by hand scoring. And again, it's going to be the first time I've said it this year, but I'm saying it for you and for the girls. When you come to the line and the guys are getting you lined up, I'm a beg and tell. And I think last year, I think they've always done a great job, but we're going to enforce it again. You come up there, you don't have a number panel on the front and the back, you ain't going out. So please have the number panels on. We're telling you way in advance. It's the same every year, but we cannot score you. For some reason, you do get out there without a number panel on and you don't get scored. There's no arguing afterwards. You just didn't have a number panel. We can't tell who you are. We don't know. We might know Joey real well, but when there's going by that fast, we don't know who it is. So if you don't have a number panel on, you shouldn't get on the line, and you more than likely won't get scored. So front and a rear, if they don't see you coming at them, the girls, and they look over to the side, they can see you leaving to make sure they got the proper number. So front and rear number panel is an absolute must. But so yeah,
so again,
it's just critical that
16 riders per. Just reiterating, 16 riders per class.
Yep.
$10,000. Yeah. Then get between 8 classes, and then we have $300 in bonus money.
No, we don't.
Fall. Oh, we don't
nope.
This year.
Nope. That's not on this year. Nope. But we still have the $10,000 payout, and we still have the first 75 to enter get a free admission ticket to the Iowa State Fair. So
we need some more website updates then, because that's still on.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yep.
We'll get that updated. That just changed on the flyer we were putting in. And last year we just had some issues with that, Chris, with Trinity Timmer, who was the longest haul, and it just didn't work as easy as what we thought it would. So,
Gotcha.
So yeah, we're just not doing it. But a couple of things is when we get closer, as always, we'll let you know what gate. It'll be that same gate, which I can't remember what number that is, Chris. But it's right after. I think it's 30th and University, if I remember right. It's the main gate on the north side.
Yep.
And you always want to be going east. You can't get in there going west. You have to be going east in order to be a pull in there, or coming south on 30th, I think it is. But once that, obviously, we're going to talk more about that, but you just want to get in line early in order to get in there and stuff. So, but we'll talk about all the details and all that stuff. The biggest thing right now is just making sure you're pre-registered. We had some people didn't get a race last year that weren't pre-registered. We had some issues with classes last year. If you're not sure about the class, call, because I'm telling you, there is a class for everybody, but those cannot be done that day. That has to be done ahead of time. So same with Cainsville is not near as tough though, because it's something we're all used to. But when it comes to State Fair, it's a little different, on how we do the heats and all that stuff. So, but yeah, it has to be done ahead of time. We know pretty much everything else is the same that we're used to. We have had a couple people reach out that want to be a part of our our showing of the quads on the Grand Concourse on Friday. That still will be going on. We have a couple of them already picked out that want to be there. That's asked us about it. It might even be full. I guess I got to look and see. So, but that's always a fun part. There's something to do at the State Fair though that we had to bring up, and I can't remember what it was. I don't know. Anyway, so
it'll come to you.
But yeah, get pre-registered. Oh, I know what it was. Is you mentioned the $10,000, and I think it's open to everybody. So flat track, TT guys, the whole 9 yards are always welcome. But you always get that stuff. It's almost like bikes and quads, arguing all the time. We get some of our guys that say, "Man, I don't want to race against a quad that's lowered and all the fancy tires and la-di-da-di-da." I'm so proud of our guys. The cross-country guys have always held their own, always. Last year was something special. It rained. That kind of plays in our benefit. But, it's like I tell everybody, there's a way. If you don't want another discipline in there and you want all cross country guys, just get signed up. Yeah, how many of our classes this year, Chris, if the whole class signed up, would not be full? There's not even room for half of our classes, for the whole class to sign up.
Yeah.
I'll bet you we have some classes that only 50% of the class could actually race at the state fair if they wanted to. So it's very simple. If you're in A class and we've got 30 A class riders and you want to have a chance to win the money, to me, it's even more special that it's just winning the Iowa State Fair, but also it's an AMA, the Iowa AMA State Championship. So you get the AMA #1 plate, and that's so cool. That's not an opportunity that everybody gets. I mean, that's pretty cool. So, but with that being said, you got to get registered. Like I said, the C guys, for example, if there's not room for we got 2 different C classes. We've only got 1 C class at Iowa State Fair. So, if we got 30, I guarantee you there's 30 riders in our C class between the 2 of them. And you think about that, only 16 can take the line, only 16 can enter. So it's huge. If you just get signed up and you're allowed to be racing against only, your guys that you race with in the series. So same with the motocross and the TT guys and stuff. If you want to sign up, get signed up to make sure you get in there. That's the biggest thing, is just getting your spot. So the kids, we allow more in there. But the adults, that cutoff solid at 16. So you got anything else on that right now?
Nope, I'm just kind of jotting down some notes of things I need to get updated here. I apologize. I just want to make sure I capture it before I forget it. You make these updates on the website.
A lot of that's my fault. I've just been so busy with getting some other stuff done that the state fair kind of crimped up on us, so.
Yeah. No,
I think that
it's an early start. Gates open. They're on 30th. I want to say it's like gate 2 or something. I don't know.
That's exactly. I was thinking 2 or 7, but I think it's gate 2 if I remember right.
Over there, that people start lining up at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. Again, they keep the most right lane. Just for us coming in off of University there. So you'll start to see the trailers backing up. And it's I'll give everybody a forewarning. Those that have not raced the state fair, it's a mess kind of coming in. It's kind of out of our hands. We don't do the gate at all. It's the state fair that does the gate. So it's separate gate than what we normally do. So we have to comply with what they want. But we do try to help out as much as possible. And we always have yourself and Brock helping with parking. So everybody kind of lined up, because once we do get into the space, there has to be some spots that are blocked off, right? For parking that we'll have to it's not a free for all once we get in there. Kind of have an order to get everybody packed in there, right? And then also save space for the state fair folks that need to park in that facility as well. Correct.
Yep. And real quick, we'll talk about this again, but I talked to Toby. We're trying to get a response, not a response. We're trying to get clarification from the fair. I apologize. In the past, we've always been able to leave the trailers in there, but we always tell everybody that 8 o'clock is kind of the cutoff. You need to be out of there by 8. If you've got an enclosed trailer, if it's open, I wouldn't leave anything out in the open parking outside the pits. But if you have a trailer that's locked and everything, and there's room out there, you're more than welcome to park out there and go back into the fair. But it's critical. It's critical on us and the event that everybody is typically out of there by 8 o'clock out of the pits themselves. So you still have time to go to the fair and stuff. We want you to, but we got to be out of there because of the fireworks and the drone setup and everything. So, just got to get everybody out on time so they can get all that stuff set up. But you mentioned it, the getting in is the toughest part. Once you're in there, the thing flows really good. The next toughest part is just paying attention. Even if you're parked clear in the back, it's up to you. You just got to pay attention and make sure that, that everybody, when you're coming up and your class is getting called. So, but like I said, we'll get into all the details on that later. Just the biggest thing is get signed up while you can, because our numbers are really good this year, and I expect for it to probably translate over to the fair race. And I've already had, I'm going to say, probably a dozen people have either questioned or commented that aren't part of the series that are, flat track or TT guys. So, yeah, so I definitely get that stuff in as soon as you can. So. And then, of course, Chris will announce too, once we get there, or once you fill up a class, a C class or AA or whatever is full, then we will make sure we announce that is full.
Yep. We will.
So cool. You have anything else for State Fair?
No.
How about Cainsville?
I'm excited for next week's podcast.
Yeah.
With special guests coming on. Well, a couple more things with the Cainsville. I know I've seen some questions floating around regarding the flyer that was put out. The time's a little bit longer.
Longer?
Yeah. Have you seen that? We raced for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Or no, excuse me. No, we raced for 2 hours. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, everything should be the same. Now, if anybody knows and had talked to me before this, I wanted to do 3 hours. You know that as well.
I'm well aware of that.
I wanted this to be a tough one. If people complain and are hot and everything else, you know what? That's perfect, because this is to celebrate. It's our race. It's a points race. But it's also in celebration of one of the longest careers in the history of our sport that's done more than anybody I know for our sport. And having said that, done the Baja 1000, all the different Bajas that they've done, all the GNCCs, the Heartlands, everything, especially even in, down the road in his career, he did that stuff. I've never, ever once heard Mike Pinland complain about anything. You know that? When it was 95 degrees and humid, here at the Heartland in Carlisle, never once heard him ever complain. I remember meeting Mike for the first time at the very first 12-hour race in Fort Dodge. I raced against him. And the second half, it was so cold, it was not even funny. And never once heard any kind of a complaint, and that's something for the younger generation to take notice of. It's crazy, but this race should be tough. It should be hard. It should separate, the part-time racers from the racers. So that's my goal, is to make it tough like that. And, if you're going to take home the Pinland Trophy, I want you to earn it. I hope nobody gets it, because there's only 2 people in your class type thing. So, yeah, so it'll be interesting. So, yeah, but same times, though, we went back just because of the heat. I wasn't for that. I wanted it to be longer, but I caved, I guess. So it is the same times.
So second question, what's this other class?
The other class?
What's the new class? The special only class for Cainsville? The
4x4 Invitational?
Yes. That's class.
Let me explain that. That's an invitational for the 4x4s. Okay. How's that?
All right.
Does that not explain it? It is a 4x4 invitational. So somebody's going to get an invitation to race in that class. So that is something that we will be announcing next week, as long as everybody can come on. our special podcast, which I hope is next week. We got to get with everybody and make sure, but that is something that we will definitely be talking about next week. So
I can tell you that somebody's already registered.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that only one has. I thought there'd be more than that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we know who's going to be there. We know who's going to be there and not racing. There's invitations that are being sent out, but we will announce that. It will not affect, anybody in our series. Is that where you're going with this, Chris?
Yeah. It's invitational, and it doesn't affect anybody's points, finishes.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying now. But yeah, you're right. It won't affect anybody. And I guess common sense tells you that if it's an invite, you wouldn't want to jump up and race that class and not get your points. You know what I mean? So that's a special invite. And then, everybody else, you're still racing your class because it's still a points race. So, everything will be the same. It's just a special breed, I guess. It's going to be in that class and celebrating just a bunch of history there. So, but that will be announced, so yeah.
All right. Oh, I see Sarah Penland's on. Thanks, Sarah, for watching.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Just like I was saying, I've never, there's not too many people that you can say, and God, I hope, someday they think of you this way type thing, but to have a chance to be remembered as like never complaining in this world is very, very odd, So, yeah. But yeah, I've never, ever heard him, even going back and talking and hearing stories, which I can't wait. That's going to be on Friday night down there. We're going to talk about a lot of that stuff, but some of the stories I heard, I think I told you this, Chris, but I literally felt like I was a teenager in the backstage of a rock star concert. I mean, that's what inspired us to do these campfire stories. It's some of these stories, I got to make sure that they're told, because it's like, you just don't hear that stuff, and you don't get to hear the behind stuff. And, it's kind of like, being in the middle of nowhere and fixing the quad with a corn stalk, it's just like, how they do this, but there's no quit, and, you and I have talked several times. I don't want to beat the bush here too much, but this isn't just about celebrating Mike's, history and what he's put in the sport, but it's also educating the younger riders, as important to me. It's one reason we chose to do the Pinland to every class, not just, I just got asked that today. Someone said, now the Pinland is just for the overalls, right? And I said, absolutely not. My wife might really want to do that because of the cost, but it's important to me that that little 50 limited, or the, the 90 stock, the one that has done everything right and worked out and everything came out in his favor or her favor, and they win that Pinland, to have that thing on the mantle, and somebody come over or get a talk about something and say, who's this? And I don't want someone to say Mike Pinland. I want them to say, Mike Pinland, this guy, you should wait till you hear this story, know what Mike is about, and know the history, and know what he's done for our sport and everything. There's so much story is going to go behind this trophy. You get tired of me talking about it. And that's why we're going to do the stories, campfire stories. So as you can tell, man, my wife's so sick of me talking about, all this stuff half the time, but man, I'm just so excited for the opportunity to, celebrate this and make it part of our series. Make sure all of our riders can, just enjoy all the changes. And we both know it. Let's be honest. You're going to have, I call it the dirty dozen. You're going to have people that literally, it's just the opposite of Mike, that will do nothing but complain and want to, pick on this or, pick this apart. But when all comes down to it, we're going to probably have 300 families minimum there racing. And I'm going to guess that 99% of them at the end of the day are going to remember this race for a long time. So So I can't wait. Can't wait for that podcast to release some stuff. You know, I'm not the best at keeping secrets when it comes to people enjoying stuff, and I'm having a real tough time with this, but it's going to be fun. So
Yes. So I got a question from Kyle Crop. He's asking about late to the game. We kind of kept it quiet with the points because I don't have them quite ready. But what I'm going to hold off until after July 1st cutoff, because we're always having questions if this person or that person is registered or they're registered or not. I'm going to kind of go through the 151 racers now that have signed up for the Penland, and I will highlight their names in a different color so we know that they are signed up for the Penland, and kind of keep an eye on who's in your class going or signed up to go to that race. So by the end of the weekend, I'll have it posted.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, Chris. When you do that, remind me of this. No, it won't even be the next race. We won't have in time. So we need to get this out there on Facebook or on the podcast. We'll talk about it. But as soon as you do that, we got to get all the shirts ordered. But I want to get everybody like a 2 or 3 day leeway, you know, where they can get on there and say, for instance, Kyle gets on there and I'm not highlighted, but I know I signed up. You know, get a hold of us immediately, you know, because we have to get those shirts. There's literally nobody getting these shirts that aren't pre-signed or pre-registered by July 1st. So we need to get their sizes. We need to make sure everything's done. After we put that out there, who got pre-registered in time, with their sizes and stuff. If you see that and you're not listed there, then get a hold of us. So make sure you get a t-shirt, because you will not get it if it's not on there. I don't know. There might be a couple extra, right, Chris?
Sure. Hopefully.
Or do I need to register to get one?
Yeah.
But
so, no, I mean, good updates. Excited. We working towards some special things going on. So keeping us busy.
Yep.
Uh-oh. Legends listening.
Oh, Mr. Penland is watching. Man, I'll tell you what, Chris, if you ever told me, we've been doing this for 23 years. Obviously, we just started the podcast last year, and I think people are already tired of us yakking, you know. You giving me crap all the time. I get a lot of people feel sorry for me because you give me so much crap. But with that being said, if you would have told me that Mike Penland would be listening, you know, to our podcast, I would have said you're crazy, you know. But knowing what's coming up and, you know, the plans, and knowing that Mike and Sarah is going to be there, you know, it's, you know, just so much stuff that we can talk about. But like, as of right now, as far as I know, we got to get clarification, but I'm pretty sure Dirt Wheels is going to be there to cover it. It's just some neat stuff. All kinds of stuff is going to be happening. And, you know, hopefully by the time we get done with this event, it won't be a thing about this was a race, you know, for Mike Penland. This is a race for everybody to celebrate what Mike Penland's, you know, accomplished and allowed us to be able to have the opportunities, you know, by what he's done, you know. And yeah, super happy to have him on here now, and looking forward to hopefully getting to speak with him next week on a special podcast to announce some stuff. I can't wait to surprise him. We got some stuff to surprise him with. So, but you know, I don't think this is a surprise to him. Maybe he already knows this, but to everybody else, don't forget we are having the mustache contest in honor of Mike Penland. So I know Dean Hansen this weekend told me that there ain't nobody going to beat him. So I can't wait to see. Can't wait to see. We all know Dean Hansen enough and Heartland, you know, awards to see how he spices things up. So can't wait to see that. But I can't wait to see if anybody else can keep up with him and take the money home for the Mike Pinland mustache contest. So yeah, should be fun. So
we should put rules around that. Then it doesn't have to be a real mustache, does it?
I think you should get bonus points for being real, but maybe we have one for, if I remember right, $50 were kicked up there from Tyrell Kerr for the winner of the mustache contest. How about we do this? How about we do $50 for the best real mustache and $50 for the best fake mustache? Does that make sense?
Yeah, because that way you can, anybody.
Maybe get some kids involved.
That's my thought.
Maybe get Chris involved.
Okay. Well,
so, but yeah, that's if I talk any longer on that, Chris, I'm gonna spoil some of the surprises. So
I know we keep you talking here.
So last thing I really got though, Chris, is I want to bring this up. I can't thank these guys enough, but I became an Alco dealer way back, I'm going to say 15 years ago when I went to a GNCC and met them, tried it, fell in love with the product. I couldn't buy it anywhere here. So I became a dealer for Alco. And probably honestly, last 4 or 5 years, I've just been kind of using everything that I had still in stock. And I was getting down to the point where, I needed some, but I got a lot of guys all of a sudden start asking about it. So we just put a nice order in today. So we will have Alco products back probably next week, I'm guessing. If you don't know anything about Alco, we're actually going to try to get them on here to talk about the products for us and how to use them properly. But I can tell you just a really quick thing, Chris. I know you've seen me on it before. I have not, in probably the last 10 to 15 years, I have not hand washed any machine, no matter how big of a mud race, whether it be the boys' race machines or any of our, track machines, the mule, the Ranger, nothing has ever been hand washed in that long a period. It's just been a thing where we only use Alco products. I use the detailer on my truck at work. It looks awesome. I won't go into detail there, but we will have Alco products available. The cool thing is we're going to be talking about it. I actually got 55-gallon drums where now I can fill your stuff up so it don't cost you as much to buy another one. So it's going to be cool. But like I said, we're going to get them on a podcast. You'll see some stuff online that's coming out with the products and stuff. And it's just going to be nice to have them. And for the 10, 15 guys that had counted on me to have stuff and I haven't, it's back. So we'll have that stuff. So, and we're good on your Prius tires, not on your Prius at all, but on your Prius tires that make them look great.
Prius tires. Sweet.
Yep.
I can, which I have I think I still have a couple gallons of Alco downstairs, but I got a nice reused power washer. Maybe I should start doing that. Yeah.
I try to help you.
So, do we have as we wrap up here? Long night, lots of information. Anything bugging Andy tonight you want to share?
Oh boy, it's a wrong time to ask that question.
I know we're getting towards the end here. Everybody's favorite portion of the podcast.
I'll bring this up, but I would like to get some responses on everybody else's feelings. I'm not going to give you my feelings, Chris, because I'm in a position that I don't think I should share my feelings on this. But I am going to share part of my feelings on it. So the What's Bugging Andy episode for this time is the fact that I don't even know how to say this without going off, Chris, but we have probably, we went from a lot of local series to we lost a lot of them, especially four-wheelers. And now it seems like we've gained quite a few more in different regions and states and stuff. And then we have the GNCC. which we all love the GNCC, but it's just killing us. And I can't even speak for everybody. You know how many times I've said this till I'm blue in the face about sharing stuff like what happened last weekend. And what happened last weekend at the race in Snowshoe, whether you were against it or you thought it was okay or not, whatever it may be, whatever your opinion is on that, if you took part in sharing that online, you're just as bad as the situation. That's all there is to it. I'm just so sick of people not understanding that when bad stuff like that happens and you decide, it's okay. Like I even sent it to my boys, like, hey, did you guys see this? Like, this is crazy. But the last thing I'm ever going to do is put that out there, Chris. I know you're sick of me talking about this, so we talk about our series, and stuff getting put out there. But, when someone has a good wreck, that's fine. If you guys want to look at it, your camera, such and such. But when you put it out there, all you're doing is asking insurance to say, hey, look at this, and it's just crazy. It's killing the sport. It's killing our insurances. I just beg everybody to please stop sharing all that stuff and, focus on the positives, not the negatives, how's that for being as nice as, what I want to say?
I mean, I don't think I would have went down that route, but you're way nicer than, than I would be. But yeah, I think the situation needs to be reviewed, just not swept under the rug, so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, and we all just need to learn something from it. I mean, that's the biggest thing, but
yep.
First things first is the thousands. And some people, you see it out there. I've had so many people send it to me and such. It's funny when they send it to me. You know what I look at first, Chris? I look at the top left corner that tells me who sent it, who shared it. That's what I look for the first. And that's honestly, you know what? This is going to sound pretty bad, but I truly am more disappointed in whoever's up there that shared it than I am of anybody involved in it. That stuff's going to happen. There's bad stuff that happens, but it doesn't need to be shared so that all the different people, the insurance companies, the people that are out for us, can have a shot at this. And as bad as that was, in a way, I'm telling you that sharing it is even worse. I really believe that. I didn't even need to know that happened. We wouldn't have known it 20 years ago. And there's a reason why our insurances keep going up. So if you're a part of that celebration and want to show something that's already been showed a million times, feel free to kick in some money for insurance. So again, I'm trying to be nice, Chris.
Okay. Well, thanks.
So that's really all I got, man. I know we went over a little bit what we really wanted to there, but we were late getting started. It's a lot of info. If everything goes right, Chris, next week we'll just focus on the Penland. We've got enough to talk about, enough stuff to release, some special guests on there we're going to talk to. We're not losing focus, though. Our next points race is at Kahoka. Bold Off-Road being the sponsor, Power Sports Share being the title sponsor for the series. The Trump family, down there, and everybody helping down there. By no means are we skipping over this. It's just a different situation that we've got to get information out. A lot of cool stuff happening at Cainsville, brand new track and stuff. But our focus is still on that next race, making sure we're ready to go there. And can't thank anybody that's helping or sponsoring or just a part of it. Going to bring the family, enjoy it. Because remember, Chris, it's 10 bonus point race too.
Yes.
Our 2 bonus point races this year are back to back with Mount Pleasant and there. So, that's big. So, but yeah, we're still focused on that one. We're just, we just got to get some stuff out there and get ready for the Penland, get ready for the state fair, both those being pre-registration only. That's a big thing, making sure everything's done. So,
yep.
But outside of that, next weekend or next week, we hope to, it's not 100% sure yet, but hopefully we can get everything out there and announce special guests and everything. We'll be releasing a lot of those questions that you had about the Pinland, Chris. And I hope to be seeing a lot of that stuff getting put out there from many different people about that. So, but we'll have a lot of that stuff on the podcast if it all works out right for next week. If we don't and it can't work next week, then we'll focus on Kahoka and get some of that stuff. But we sure hope to have landowner and sponsor and stuff on that following week. So for the weekend before Kahoka. So,
okay.
Yep.
All right. Well,
Alrighty.
thanks everyone for sticking around. We'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Thank you, bud.